There are two things that I love about sports. The first thing that I love is that it taught me how to overcome adversity. Adversity is a fierce competitor, sort of like me. Growing up, some hardships seemed normal for me. Hearing gunshots in my neighborhood, seeing drugs being used and sold, experiencing the challenges of growing up in public housing without a father in the home, not knowing that rent would be paid. Hard times became new to me when I was cut from the football team in the 7th grade because I was too small, and cut from the basketball team in the 9th grade because I was told I wasn't good enough. The second thing that I love about sports is that on any given day, even the underdogs can prevail. I cheer for the underdogs because I live as one. I was made fun of for being cut from several teams. And because of the environment I grew up in, I was often quoted the unfortunate odds that I was more likely to go to jail than to go to college. The way I interpreted this was that I was more likely to be a failure than a success. The odds were never in my favor. I grew up thinking I was inferior to the rest. At best, thinking of myself as mediocre. I took a gamble at life as if playing poker. I learned at a young age that we just have to play with the cards we are dealt, even if it's not the hand we desire. Although I was cut from several teams, I continued to persevere and found great success in track and field. Through track and field, I gained physical and mental strength. I was Popeye the Sailor Man, and track and field was my spinach. In the 8th grade, I fell in love with track and field. In the 11th grade, I became very fascinated with the hurdles, particularly the 400-meter hurdles, which is one of the toughest races in track and field. In the 400-meter hurdles, I was challenged with running a race with barriers in front of me. Raise your hand if this sounds familiar to you. This race reminds me of life. Life can be painful with storms that roar like a mighty lion. We will all fail at something at some point of our lives. Show me a person that has never failed in their life, and I'll show you a person that has lived so conservatively that they were never fully living, only existing. There will be hurdles in our lives. Some hurdles we will easily clear. Some hurdles will trip us up but not make us fall. But there will also be hurdles in our lives that we will hit and fall flat on our face. I have learned that the race of life is not about the knockdown, but to get up. Here's a spoiler alert for you. None of us are invincible to calamity's sting. However, there is good news. Because with every dark cloud, there is that silver lining. So I offer you this silver lining. I was once asked if I could be any animal in the world, what would I be? I responded, I would like to be an eagle. We can learn a lot from the eagle. The eagle knows when the storm is approaching before it happens. The strong winds will hit the eagle's wings and the eagle is lifted above the storm. The eagle receives strength from the storm. The greater the storm, the higher the eagle will soar. So in the words of the great prophet Isaiah, soar on wings like eagles. Run and not grow weary. Walk and not be faint. James says, consider it joy when experiencing trials because our trials produces perseverance. Perseverance produces character. Character produces hope, and hope does not disappoint us. Growing up, I kept hope in my pocket, wishing one day it would save me. It saved me. Hope is that silver lining we have to weather the storm. I went from being just an ordinary kid from the inner city to an extraordinary man with unlimited possibilities. Now I'm aware that the race of life is not over until we reach that finish line called death. We are all sprinting to that finish line, so at some point of our lives we will win first place. Though this race seems like a competition, the only thing we are against are the odds. Now tell it you are not to be messed with. So if and when you fall, you must not stay there. You have to get back up. So get up. Don't let your circumstances be an excuse to surrender to trials like a fugitive who stole your will to keep going. As long as there was breath in your lungs, there was always hope. So keep going until you reach your finish line. Mr. Contest Chair.
Mr. Time, will you give us another minute?